And wow, major snub today from the US media. It just gets worse for Meghan Markle in Hollywood by the day. So this is People magazine. Let me show you this. It is celebrating its 50th anniversary. Now, you know People magazine has been taking stories from Meghan Markle for a very long time, but look at who they've chosen to put on their 50th anniversary cover. Meghan's friend, Oprah Winfrey. Lots of celebrities like Jennifer Aniston, The Rock. This is just the sort of bunch of people that Meghan Markle would absolutely want to be a part of. Surely, given she's their number one source, they are going to choose to include her in their celebrating 50 years celebration, right? Given they love the royal family so much. Oh no, they've gone for a corgi instead with a crown. Meghan Markle has been rejected by People magazine, Kinsey Schofield, for a corgi. And I presume that was People magazine making quite a point. We actually want to stay close to the real royals, not the Montecito royals.
Picture this. After years of People magazine cashing in on Harry and Meghan covers, the image reportedly edging them out isn't an A-lister, it's a corgi. Not a joke, a choice. Editors who once banked on Sussex buzz now see the pair as high maintenance, low reward, and one controversy away from a week-long headache. People's lane is warm, easy, apolitical, a corgi is comfort food, and a quiet salute to the late Queen's steadiness. Translation: they'd rather put a dog on the cover than gamble on Meghan. That says everything about where the vibes are.
Or are they resentful that they gave Dan Wakeford, the former editor of People magazine, now with Us Weekly, the Meghan bullying scoop, because Harry and Meghan had been so generous with People magazine, giving them access to their fake royal tours, giving them access to private information, like Meghan is disappointed that Harry keeps pursuing these legal issues and she wants to just look forward to the future. They have given People magazine so much incredible access that I'm sure people felt like they were in it to win it. And then all of a sudden the rug was pulled out from under them when Meghan's employees, I believe it was 7 employees, 5 on the record, 2 off the record, spoke to Dan Wakeford and Us Weekly. I believe the connection there is Abigail Spencer, who said on the Netflix series that she had a friend that used to work at People magazine. She had approached him about doing that story about Thomas Markle, how, her friends went to defend Meghan in People magazine a few years ago against Thomas Markle. Dan left. He's now at Us Weekly. And I do wonder if People magazine says, well, you know what? We're going to cut you off. We are going to punish you for giving that exclusive to Us Weekly, who is just, quite frankly, in the States, not on the same level as People magazine. You would have expected that story in People magazine, in Vanity Fair, in somewhere that would have given that Meghan is a saint, not a demon angle more credibility.
Indeed. But it's just the fact that I've used a corgi with a crown. I just can't get over it. Angela Levin wrote on this, very significant that people didn't want Meghan on their 50-year celebration. And the royal YouTuber, according to Taz, wrote, "What? No Meghan? Despite all the exclusives she and Harry have given them? What a bummer. Even a corgi in a crown made it." Calvin Robinson, you've been in America a lot lately. Do you sense a real change stateside as well in terms of how people feel about Meghan and Harry compared to the rest of the British royal family?
It's funny, yes. People often bring this up to me. I don't want to spend much time talking about it in real life, but they do. And they tell me how they are upset and fed up of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, and actually they'd rather them go home because they've come over to the States and they've become celebrities. And I think it's a very dangerous game they play, because the royal family has always had a relationship with the media. Of course they have. But with Harry and Meghan, it seems that they want to become sources to the media instead. And as Kinsey just pointed out, flirting with Us Weekly after giving all those exclusive to People, it breeds competition, it breeds resentment, and it's a game they shouldn't actually be in. Perhaps some of their team may be in, but for them directly to become sources of the US media means that they are playing the journalistic game and they're riling people up. And so, of course, now that they're over Us Weekly, people have had enough of them and they've washed their hands of them. And it's beneath them, really, quite frankly. It's not very edifying of the royalty.
There was a time Sussex on a masthead guaranteed clicks. Not anymore. The newsroom whisper is blunt, polarizing, exhausting, unpredictable. When a mainstream giant gets skittish, that's not a blip, it's a barometer shift. Audiences feel oversold. Brands don't want splashback, and editors are done letting one headline detonate a week-long culture war. The same attention engine that once amplified every reveal and docudrap is flashing fatigue. That's the trap of living by the spotlight. When the tone curdles, it burns.
But there's nothing edifying, is there, Kinsey, about what Meghan is doing? I mean, she gets all of that terrible coverage. The Hollywood press, which had been pretty slavishly in favor of her, specifically Hollywood Reporter, but even to an extent the Daily Beast and Newsweek, turn on her. So she thinks, oh, I'm going to go out in an awful red dress that looks like my Deal or No Deal dress, and that's going to be my big return. And oh, I mean, we haven't spoken since all of this has gone down, Kinsey. What do you make of it?
That exact same weekend, talk about people on the cover, celebrities on the cover of People's 50th, Reese Witherspoon. That exact same weekend where we saw Meghan debut the altered red dress from the Deal or No Deal dress. Reese Witherspoon held a Hello Sunshine event with several of the women that were at the same Hamptons event that Meghan Markle participated in. And the fact that these women met in the Hamptons at this entrepreneurial event for female empowerment, Dr. Mary Claire Hayward, you saw Naomi Watts, some of those women continuing to collaborate with Reese Witherspoon that exact same weekend. If Meghan was really looking for a relaunch after all of the Where is Meghan whispers with weeks on weeks of Prince Harry's solo coverage, I feel like it would have been so much more powerful for her to show up at a Hello Sunshine event with Reese Witherspoon than the carpet that she showed up at, because you are who you associate with, and no one really wanted to take their picture with her at the Children's Hospital Gala. And she is desperate to associate with people like Reese Witherspoon, who it's my understanding that she reached out to her and asked her to appear on Archetypes, and Reese politely declined because she wants to stay in favor of the royal family.
Wow. And we know Taylor Swift also said no. So, Kinsey, is it too much look, this is my belief, but is it your belief that Meghan is now a pariah in Hollywood, or is that too far? Is that going too far?
Their drama, and I just Nacho is their biggest spokesperson. Nacho is the one that's out there.
This is this Polo guy, praises. Right?
Polo Nacho. It's gonna be hard to find anybody that's going to defend them publicly. Maybe Abigail Spencer still, but I do think that they have become a real toxic brand, and people want to be uplifting and kind towards the royal family right now. 2 people are suffering with cancer. We really truly recently still lost the Queen. Yes. They were tearing into the royal family while Prince Philip was sick up until his death. And I think that normal people, the common sense thing to think is, wow, that is a family that has had a lot of hurt over the last few years and struggle. I'm going to be compassionate. I'm going to show empathy. I'm sorry that you don't feel like you got to wear the tiara that you wanted to on your wedding day. That was amazing. Your second wedding day. And, I'm going to show a little empathy towards this family that suffered a lot of death and a lot of illness over the last few years. Harry and Meghan's arguments and their whining is so superficial compared to the hurt that the royal family has felt over the last few years.
Indeed. And look, I know how these magazine covers work. All of those celebrities would not have agreed to be on the cover of People magazine until they knew who all of the other celebrities were going to be. And my contention would be, if Meghan was part of that mix, there would have been a concern that some of the other celebrities would not appear. But look, there's a massive scandal raging in the UK called Taylor Swift Gate, which looks like it may well empower Prince Harry in his battle with the British government over security. So let me show you, for example, the cover of the front page, of the Daily Mail here in the UK today. It shows what a big story this has become. And it's because Taylor Swift's mum negotiated directly with the UK government in order for her to receive a police escort when she held her big Eras Tour concert in Wembley. That's something, of course, that Prince Harry has been rejected in the past. But what's so significant is that the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, actually met Taylor Swift backstage, something that he hid from the public when he was asked about his meeting with Taylor Swift at a school.
Reactions split. Some cheer the snub as overdue, others call the media hypocrites for cashing in and then cutting loose. But the image lands. A corgi, shorthand for continuity, tradition, and the Queen's gentle legacy, pulls more goodwill than a brand now associated with memoirs, lawsuits, and streaming confessions. It's brutal optics. Even the monarchy's softest mascot outcharms an endless reinvention monologue. If editors are choosing a dog over Meghan, it's because calm is selling and chaos isn't.
Now, Father Calvin, there's obviously a political side to this because Keir Starmer is just a liar. He's just a complete liar. He took free tickets. He took his kids, who he claims that he wants to keep out of the spotlight, to meet Taylor Swift, and then lied about it. So that's the political side of this. But when it comes to Prince Harry, Calvin, isn't this now much more difficult? And King Charles will be furious about this because it's now much more difficult for the government to try and say, we're not going to pay for your security. Because he is immediately going to come back and say, but I have threats against me, just like Taylor Swift does. And you paid for her to have government security and a blue light escort.
Absolutely. First and foremost, we must feel sorry for the Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer. When he stood there, there's zero charisma, isn't it? Not one single child was laughing at his petty little jokes. They didn't even smile. He's like, yeah, I went to see Taylor Swift, like trying to win over the audience. None of them are having any of it. No. But yeah, what this highlights is the two-tier system, once again, because they've said no to Prince Harry. Quite right, they've said no to Prince Harry, to this security scenario. But they've bent and given in to Taylor Swift once again because of the celebrity culture of the Labour government, and they are in there with all the lefties and backpatting. And so when Taylor Swift wants something, she speaks to the Labour politicians, and we have the Mayor of London and the Education Secretary stepping in, and the Prime Minister making sure that it happens. It's inappropriate, but it's exposed the two-tier system. And so now, yes, Prince Harry has to have it, otherwise the system is corrupt.
Kinsey, I mean, this is good news for Prince Harry, I guess, but very bad news for King Charles, who has been insisting to his son for months now. I mean, let's just be honest about it. Harry only gets through to Charles very, very rarely now. Charles is just refusing the calls. But in their previous conversations, Kinsey, his line has always been, the government never gets involved in these things. It's a police decision. I can't get involved in these things. And here's the government directly getting involved in whether Taylor Swift has a blue light escort or not.
I know this is unfortunate for the king because this is one of those issues where Prince Harry is absolutely relentless. He doesn't see sense when it comes to this. Nope. It's his way or the highway. And he is so incredibly difficult when it comes to this particular topic. So I do really sympathize with King Charles here. I mean, I guess Labour could justify it by saying if anybody that was going to attempt anything sinister saw this presence, perhaps they would rethink whatever their plans were, thinking about back to Ariana Grande and that horrific incident. And we just want to protect these young girls and these young families that are here for the Taylor Swift concert. Maybe that's going to be their justification.
But he's going to say, well, why don't you want to protect Meghan Markle? That is literally going to be his answer to that.
Because she's not doing anything for the economy and she calls everyone racist. I mean, I think that might be the answer.
I would love it if that was the answer. No, look, it's a pickle. It's a pickle. Kinsey, you might be a bit annoyed with me now, though, because I'm never angry with Prince William, but today I am so mad with Prince William because he made the decision to personally bestow a damehood on the former Prime Minister of New Zealand, the disgraced Prime Minister of New Zealand, Jacinda Ardern. Here they are together, they're great pals. She's involved in his Earthshot Prize, and Prince William has just made a mistake with Jacinda Ardern, because Jacinda Ardern, and I know this, I have dual citizenship. A lot of people know this. New Zealand born, but I'm British. My parents were born in Britain, and I've spent my adult life in the UK, but I'm also a New Zealander and have a huge connection with that country of my birth. And no one woman has done more damage to my home country of New Zealand than Jacinda Ardern. Her policies over the COVID pandemic were nothing short of evil. I have friends who were police officers, pharmacists, veterinarians, teachers who lost their jobs, who were essentially thrust out of society because of her vaccine mandates. I have close friends who missed their own parents' funeral because they were locked in her prisons. That's what they were. They were COVID prisons. And then, Father Calvin, I see William laughing along with this woman who he doesn't understand is one of the most controversial figures in New Zealand history, who has done more damage to New Zealand than anyone else. What? Because she's a globalist shill. It just upsets me, Calvin, because he would never do this with a right-wing politician.
If people won't play, others take note. Covers dry up, sponsorships wobble, and the phone stops ringing unless there's a fresh flare-up. To flip that script, the next move can't be another glossy rollout or gauzy sit-down. It has to be quiet consistency, measurable wins, and fewer crisis, PR headlines. Right now, a Corgi is doing what their content isn't. Winning affection without saying a word, that's the blueprint they're up against.
If evil had a face, it would look very similar to Jacinda Ardern. The sneering and the laughter, the grinning as she was telling people that they were going to be locked in their homes or they were going to be forced to take medical interventions. It sent shivers down my spine every time she came on television. But then how she approached the media as well, when she said, "We will tell you what the truth is. We are the arbiters of the truth." She was a tyrannous dictator. It was absolutely horrifying to see her in action. I was so thankful when she got dismissed, and great to see that.
She left because she knew that she was going to be booted out in an historic election. She didn't even have the balls to face the public.
She saw the cards on the table. But why this is so worrying is because this kind of move could be the end of the monarchy. The monarchy is supposed to be apolitical. They're not supposed to be partisan in this way. Prince William has made friends with Jacinda Ardern. Ill-advisable, but he can make friends. But when he oversteps that mark in offering a dameship to someone who is very clearly of the far left political persuasion, very clearly a globalist, very clearly hated by her own people and many people around the world, including ours, to overstep that mark and to provide her with that honorific title shows that he has become political in a way that he should never. And so I hope he learns from this lesson and steps away from that, much as his father had to do, because he is going to be our king. He cannot be political in this way.
Kinsey, can you step in and defend William here? Because, I do really like William. I just don't think he probably understands what Jacinda did to New Zealand.
No, I agree with you. Perhaps he is not privy to as much information as you are, because I think he has his blinders on, and he has his own issues that he's dealing with. We were also negatively affected by the way that our countries shut us down. A lot of us lost friends that became so depressed and lonely because they weren't going outside and they couldn't connect with people in the real world. We are still seeing people that are losing their lives today, and some of them are younger people, and the parents will say everything went south during the COVID pandemic when they were locked in the house. So I don't think any of us have really completely understood fully how much that negatively affected us to be without human interaction for almost years at a time. And hopefully we have a better understanding of that, and Prince William will realize the damage that she did. But I will say that when She appeared on Harry and Meghan's Live to Lead Netflix docuseries. She was quick to say, I had no idea that they were associated with it,
Yes.
alluding to the fact that she would have not participated in it had she known Harry and Meghan were associated with it. So that's where I will give her a high five.
Yeah, Jacinda Ardern did choose William and Catherine over Harry and Meghan, which was really interesting because Harry and Meghan thought that they had won her over, that they really bonded on their visit to New Zealand, and they were devastated about that. So yes, I guess you could say that's one decision Jacinda got right. Personally, I just think, look, William has the pick of the world. He has the pick of the world when it comes to who he wants to be involved in Earthshot. And people say Jacinda Ardern is very nice personally. I was actually speaking to a former national leader of a country recently who said to me that in person, and this person doesn't agree with her policies at all, said that in person she's very nice. But remember, William is going to be the head of New Zealand one day as the King of England. And I just think, I think he needs to think hard about the company he keeps. And Jacinda Ardern is not the right company.
This isn't just not this cover, it reads as not this tone, not right now. Quirky editorial one-off, or proof their media currency is slipping? If the Sussex story has hit saturation, expect more outlets to choose comfort over controversy. Drop your take below. Tap like if you think editors would rather bet on a dog than a drama, and subscribe for more straight-shot royal coverage without the fluff.